Hello, my name is Pastor Mario Sims. In addition to being pastor, I'm also a United States citizen and a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. As many of you did, as a veteran, I took an oath that every serviceman and woman takes. It is not to support and defend the country, nor is it to support and defend the people. The oath is taken to support and defend something transcendent, something larger, more dear than the country or the people. It's an oath to support and defend a document that gave birth to and that expanded the very ideals that this country and its people enjoy. It is a document that enunciated and enumerated all of our freedoms, rights, and privileges as a nation. It is a cornerstone of this enduring experiment in democracy that has made us who and what we are as a nation. Without it, we would just be another nation among many. With it, we have become something unique and special in history of how people have been governed. If you're not a veteran, you most certainly are an American citizen or desire American citizenship. Citizenship is a common thread that connects all Americans. We are a nation bound not by race or religion, but by the shared values of freedom, liberty, and equality. Responsibilities of American citizen include supporting and defending the Constitution, which I referenced as I began, staying informed of issues affecting your community and participating in the democratic process, and participating in your local community. Today I'm going to present facts to you that show that the mayor, who is the highest executive of the city of South Bend, in fact has lied and attempted to cover up the truth in the South Bend tape scandal. The facts that I'm going to read you below were taken from the South Bend Tribune timeline, the ABC 57 timeline, Ms. Karen DePape's notice of tort claim, which was, of course, signed by an officer of the court, Freedom of Information Act requests for records that I've made to both the FBI and the United States Justice Department, documents from the St. Joe County Prosecutor's Office, a letter from Mr. David Kapp, who is the U.S. District Attorney, Northern District of Indiana, and some case law from the United States Supreme Court and the Seventh Circuit, statements from a former South Bend officer, and some court records. Let's start by framing this historically. On March 29, 2012, South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg announces then South Bend Police Chief Darrell Boykins has resigned at the mayor's request in light of a federal investigation into the department's practice of recording officers' phone lines. On March 30, 2012, Chief Boykins pulls his resignation, arguing that the practice of recording phone lines predated his rise to chief. This statement by Boykins is true and verified by former South Bend Police Department Lieutenant, who's retired, Paul Hammonds, and by the Freedom of Information Access request that I've received from the Justice Department and the FBI. But Buttigieg relieved Chief Boykin of his duty, irregardless of the facts and the truth, and demoted him to the rank of captain. April 10, 2012, the mayor's office fires Mrs. Karen DePape, the then director of the communications for the South Bend Police Department, saying she was also a target of the federal probe. This is in fact a lie. The Freedom of Information Access request responses that I received from the Justice Department and the FBI show that Mrs. DePape was never a target, but in fact a witness. On May 13, 2012, Mayor Buttigieg tells the Tribune that Boykins' demotion and Ms. DePape's firing saved them from federal charges for what he said was violating the Federal Wiretap Act by recording officers' lines without their consent. First of all, this is a lie. You cannot save someone from federal prosecution by firing them. I mean, imagine a scenario where you're a manager of a bank, one of your tellers is caught stealing money by the FBI. The FBI then calls you and says, well, I tell you what, if you just tell her to return the money, we're not going to prosecute her. It's a bald-faced lie. Furthermore, Freedom of Information requests that I made to the Justice Department and the FBI show Chief Boykins, Mr. DePape were not targets but witnesses. And the practice of taping began long before Chief Boykins became a chief. The city fired Mr. DePape because they claimed violation of Policy 21 4.2, which is conduct unbecoming a city employee, which is outrageous when you consider the fact that Mr. Pape was fired in reality for simply doing her job, which is maintaining the communications equipment at the South Bend Police Department. And she states she was first asked to resign by Chief of Staff Mike Schmuel, and when she refused, stating she had done nothing wrong, she was told if she talked about the investigation, she would be arrested. Rich Hill, at that time a consultant with the mayor's office, told her that the mayor's office was forced by the feds to get rid of her and Boykins. Of course, this came from the ABC 57 news timeline. These are just sheer lies. The feds never told anyone to get rid of her or Chief Boykins. On May 31st, 2012, the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Indiana, David Capps, sends a letter to one of the attorneys involved in this case, and actually a defendant's attorney, Scott During, who represents Mr. Pape. And the letter said that the federal investigation had closed, and Mr. Capps had decided not to pursue persecution. The mayor maintains he cannot release the tapes, as he says that listening to the content would violate the federal wiretap. This, of course, is a lie that the mayor is continuing. Mr. Capps' letter stated that he conferred with others inside the Justice Department that were experts in wiretapping laws. And after reviewing the facts of this matter with those experts, he declined prosecution. Furthermore, case law from a similar case, Amati versus the city of Woodstock, where you had a similar situation, police officers and some relatives were caught in conversations unbeknownst to themselves, on some phone lines in the city of Woodstock. Police Department sued and lost the lawsuit when the Seventh Circuit in Amati versus City of Woodstock, and that site is 176 Fed 3rd and 952, the Seventh Circuit, 1999. Clearly said that there was a law enforcement exception. It's the same situation here. It's not wiretapping, folks. Furthermore, any disclosure of the contents of the recording were protected under the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. This was determined by the United States Supreme Court in a case by the name of Bartnicki versus Vopper, Vopper, 532 U.S. 2nd, 514, 2001. The law and the facts clearly expose the mayor's transparent reasons for firing Mr. Pape and Chief Boykins were lies. Mrs. DePape never did anything wrong in this particular case, and neither did Chief Boykins. On September 19th, 2014, high-ranking officers sued the city, Chief Boykins, and Mrs. DePape, alleging that Mrs. DePape and Chief Boykins illegally recorded and listened to their personal department phone lines for the purpose of determining which officers were loyal to him. This, of course, is a lie. These tapes this taping equipment had been put in place long before Chief Boykins had taken office, and Chief Boykins was not even aware of them until Ms. DePape, in the process of doing her job and maintaining the system, uncovered this taping system. The suit also goes on to claim that Chief Boykins and Mr. Pape vilified the officers by claiming the recordings captured them making racist comments and discussing possible illegal activity. The officers that sued are Metro Homicide Commander Tim Corbett, David Wells, Assistant Commander of the unit, and officers Steve Richmond and Brian Young, along with his wife Sandy. October 12, 2012, Boykins files counterclaim to the officers' suit, asking for compensation for what he says was defamation on the officers' part. Boykins also countered that the department has recorded all phone lines in the course of normal business for the past 10 years. On December 28, 2012, South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg announces he hired current Police Chief Ron Teachman. This was now you have to go back to an ABC News report on June 1st of that year, June 1st, 2012, where Mayor Buttigieg said he wanted to make it clear why he would not be reinstating former Chief Boykins in the aftermath of the federal investigation. And let me quote you verbatim what he said on this ABC 57 News report on June 1st, 2012. Mayor Buttigieg said if somebody makes such a serious mistake that they bring down a major investigation of their department, they're not going to be able to keep a leadership position in this administration, and they're probably going to lose my confidence fast, said Buttigieg. Now, keep in mind Recently, the Indiana State Police confirmed they were investigating the current chief of police, Ron Teachman, for not providing backup for an officer who was trying to break up a fight at the Martin Luther King Jr. Recreation Center. This is a quote that came from Tom Dixon, Chief Boykin's attorney. When the state police are investigating the chief's behavior, meaning Chief Teachman, in a line of duty, that is a major investigation, said Tom Dixon, the attorney that represents Boykins. Further, the head of the Board of Public Safety resigned after reading the state police report and learning the mayor would not discipline Teachman, believing that Teachman should be fired. So obviously, in addition to everything else, the mayor lied when he said that he would fire anyone who brought a major investigation, and he lied when he said that was a reason for firing Chief Boykins, because obviously he didn't apply that same principle when it came to Chief Teachman bringing a major investigation. On May 8th, Karen DePape sued Buttigieg in the city, claiming wrongful termination from her position as communications director. That lawsuit is currently ongoing. On May 30th, Chief Boykins sues Buttigieg and his former chief of staff, Mike Schmuel, claiming the two conspired to demote him based on his race. On December 17th of 2013, the city announced it reached a settlement for parts, not including the subpoena action that the city is fighting to quash the city council subpoena, which asked for the tapes to be submitted to the city council so they can be publicly played. And also, Mr. Pape's lawsuit was not part of this settlement. But anyway, on December 17, 2013, the city announces that it reached a settlement on parts of the litigation surrounding the police tape controversy, paying out $575,000 of your money in a settlement that's made incomprehensible by not only the facts that I read you, but also the following facts. The city settled with a defendant, Chief Boykins, and the plaintiffs. You know, this is a situation that you're paying both sides. Somebody's got to be wrong here. Both can't be right. Either the officers did something wrong or Boykins did. And we know that Chief Boykins didn't, because the taping system had existed long before he ever took office. He had no involvement in the taping system whatsoever. It was brought to his attention by Mr. Pape in the line of her job, and he in turn brought it to the mayor, who in turn fired him. Point number two is, although Karen DePape's notice of tort claim alleged she heard, and I'm quoting from that notice of tort claim, which, keep in mind, is signed by Scott During, an officer of the court, a respected attorney here locally also. Let me go back and say clearly, underline what parts of this tort claim says. And I quote, acts of misconduct ranging from potential commission of criminal offenses to serious breaches of city policies and procedures. The content of some of the conversations contain racially derogatory statements relating to other officers, ranking officers. None of these discussions had anything to do with legitimate law enforcement, and yet were done during the hours that the individual was being paid to perform duties for the city. Many of these discussions relating to schemes regarding how to influence the then incoming, now current mayor, Pete Buttigieg, to place individuals in positions of power with the police department, now including the ouster and replacement of former chief of police Darrell Boykins. Close quotes. Some of these offenses led the feds, for example, to convict former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich on numerous felony charges. At the very least, the officers should have been fired for misuse of city time. They were getting paid to talk about non-police matters on these police department telephones. The third point that I wanted to bring to your attention that makes the settlement incomprehensible is the city, as a condition of settling, could have requested the defendants to waive any privacy privilege to allow it to hear the tapes and make sure that none of the alleged criminal acts that Mr. Pape said she heard, in fact existed, and especially in light of the fact that one of the officers that settled, Metro Homicide Commander Tim Corbett, who admitted to being on the tapes, has been twice disciplined for abusing his badge. That's supported by two documents we received from the St. Joseph County Prosecutor's Office showing that he'd been disciplined. In one incident, he'd been disciplined for